Hello and welcome to another Visual C# tutorial. In our last video, we created an application that had picture boxes that we put images in, and then we used those almost as buttons so that we could click on them and change text on our form. But now we're going to flip that and we're going to create buttons that change the picture boxes on our form. So we'll create an application that has images of 3 coins, 5, 10, and 25 cents, and 3 buttons, and when I click on the 5-cent button, only the 5-cent image will display, and the same for the 10 and the 25. So let's see how that would look. I'll start as always by saying File, New Project, Visual C# over on the left, Windows Form on the right, and we'll call this More Picture Boxes. And I start as always with my blank form. So over here on the left, I'm going to grab a picture box control out of our toolbox, drag it onto our form, and we're going to change some of its properties. The first being its name, as always. So we'll call this Coin 5 Picture Box. And then we'll come down to its image property, click here, and then click on the 3 buttons, the 3-dot button, and this dialog box comes up. Now last time we clicked on local resource, we clicked import, and we pulled in an image. This time we're going to use project resource files. And it's a little different, and the difference will become apparent as I go forward. But for now we're going to click here, and we're going to click on the import button at the bottom. And I'm actually going to choose 3 images. I'm going to shift click on each one and select all 3 and say open. And now notice that all 3 images are available to me in this project resource file dialog box. So for the first one, I'm going to click 5 cents and OK. Now my image doesn't look very good yet, so we'll change its properties. Over here to the bottom, change its size mode to zoom like we did last time. And I'll make this one 150 by 150. And there's my picture box. So let's take that and copy it. I'll click on it and type Control-C to copy. And then I'll click on the form and type Control-V to paste it. We'll rename this one, and we'll call it Coin 10 Picture Box. We will change its image by clicking on the 3 dots again. And this time we'll pick 10 cents out of our project resource list and click OK. And one last time, click on it, Control-C to copy, click on the form, Control-V to paste. We will change its name, and this time we'll call it Coin 25 Picture Box, and choose its image by clicking on the 3 dots, and we'll pick the 25-cent image this time. Click OK. Now I have my 3 coins, 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent picture box. Let's add 3 buttons because that's what the application is supposed to do. Have 3 buttons that I can click on, and I'll just size them a little bit bigger. We'll name the first one 5 button. Notice that I'm using the word 5 rather than the number 5. I can't start a name with a number. I have to start it with a letter, so I'll just spell out 5. And we'll scroll down and make its text say 5 cents. And there's my button. And we will Control-C to copy that, Control-V to paste it, change its name. We called that one 5 button, so we'll call this one 10 button. And we'll scroll down to its text property, make that say 10 cents. And we'll do that one last time. Click on it, say Control-C to copy, click on the form, Control-V to paste it. And there's my 3rd button. And I called that one 10 button, so we'll call this one 25 button. 25 button. And we'll change its text property to 25 cents. And now I have my 3 images and my 3 buttons. So let's take a look at how these buttons are going to display only one of these images. If I click on one of the picture boxes and I scroll down here on the bottom in its properties, you can see there's a property called visible. And if I set this to false, when I run my program, you should see this first button not appear. Its visible setting is set to false. Rather, it's invisible. So why don't I set all 3 of these to invisible to start with, and then I can use these buttons to turn the visible property to true for whichever button I want to display. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to close that application. And I'll start by changing the visible property for the other 2 buttons to false. So they all start out hidden. And I'll click on the 25 cent, change its visible property to false. And then let's double click on the 5 cent button. And what we want to do is take those picture boxes and turn the one that we want to display on by setting its visible property to true. So I'll start with my coin 5 picture box. There it is. Double click on that. And I want to change its visible property. So I say dot viz, and there's visible. I can click tab. And I'm going to set that property to true by saying equal true. And just in case one of the other pictures is visible right now, maybe I had already clicked the 25 button, I'm going to turn the other 2 pictures off just to be careful. So I'm going to set its visible property to false. So we'll say coin 10 picture box dot visible equals false, and coin 25 picture box dot visible to equal false as well. Now when I run my program, all of the coins are invisible, and I click on 5 cents, and that one becomes visible. So let's do the same thing for 10 and 25. Come back to my form, double click on the 10 cent button. Now I have a click handler for that. I'm just going to come up here and copy these 3 lines from my 5 button click by saying Control C to copy. Click here, Control V. And I'm going to leave the first picture box false, but now since this is the 10 button, I'm going to take the 10 picture box and make it true for its visible property. And while we're here, we'll do the last one. Click on 25 cents, double click on it. And once again, I will copy and paste all that code. And this time I want 10 to be false. And I'll change the visible property for 25 to be true. Now when I run my program, and I click on 5 cents, the first one appears, 10 cents, the second one appears, and 25 cents, the third one appears. And that is our application. If you'd like to see a slightly more advanced version where I only have one image and I swap the image that appears in that picture box, stay tuned for the next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.